guys good? Waiting on anyone? All right. Roster-wise, Vele went to IR. Charlie went to the 53. Injury-wise, out guys will be Alvin, Awesome, and Caesar. Questionable guys will be Shepard, Tipton, and then Zaire. He'll be questionable. He was limited today with a knee. The three guys on here but are good to go: Justin Reed, Tyler Shuck, and Gotcha. So that's the roster, and good to go.
You've kind of made some moves in some guys quickly, putting them on IR or putting them out. Why is Alvin the opposite of that when he hasn't practiced in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, we're just keeping an eye on that one. We'll see how it progresses. Again, timelines are all different for all these guys. Felt like, obviously with Vele and with Devin, the timeline wasn't going to give us any opportunity for the season, and so, put them on IR.
Has Alvin's injury taken kind of longer than you guys expected?
Not necessarily. I think, similar to a lot of other guys, sometimes Chase's injury, sometimes, you try and put a specific timeline on it. There's various timelines, and you got to kind of go through the full process. So we'll see what happens.
You have guys that you end up adding like partway through a week to the practice squad, and you only get a couple of days in practice. Like, is there I'm not asking specifically about either of the guys that have been recently added, but just in general, is there a real shot at any point for guys like that to be able to play on a Sunday, or is that too tight a turnaround?
It would be in a emergency situation / tight situation where they'd have a role. Guys can learn some stuff. A lot of times when you come from place to place, there's different ways you can figure it out. There's a translation that you can at least get into a limited role, and so guys are ready, guys are available, and I think we've obviously put a premium on guys who've had a little bit of experience, guys that can probably, if called upon, would be ready to go. And so I think our running back room has been a good example of that through this entire season. Guys that have been called up and then asked to play relatively quickly.
With Bailey's season being over, you feel like you've got enough of him involved in the offense that you feel comfortable about the next season and kind of the ways you want to use him?
Yeah, I think the last few weeks were certainly a really good representation of him. Really excited about him moving forward.
Kellen, how much do you feel like your investments in the culture, the team events, basketball, hoop in the meeting room, and all that stuff, how much do you feel like that pays off in the team fighting and playing hard even when things are kind of going sideways and being able to get on a run in a season like this?
Yeah, I think we got a really special group, a group that's stayed connected through this whole process. And I think from a team standpoint, you're always trying to find different ways to just continue to connect. And so, spend time together, whether it's, I think road trips are obviously always special in the NFL, a chance to kind of spend time together. We try and have some stuff there at those hotels just to kind of stay active, keep those guys connected. Certainly, I think through this building, you can kind of see different opportunities where our guys get to spend a lot more time together. And so I think all that stuff adds up.
What's your evaluation of Brady Cook? Not a guy, obviously, with a ton of film.
Yeah. I've watched Brady from afar. So my brother was at Missouri with him. So I was rooting for Brady for a couple of years, and now obviously not so much this week. But Brady's I thought he had a really good college career. I thought he really raised Missouri, brought them up a notch the last couple of years when he was there. And so one game in, second game is going to look a lot different. Once you get that first game in the NFL, I think you settle in a little bit. He can make plays with his feet. Certainly that shows up a lot throughout his college and NFL career. Good arm, accurate ball. I think he's going to play. He's going to play pretty well, and so we're going to have to play well.
You go to Kirby for
No, Kirby's a little busy right now.
Aaron Glenn was also kind of up for this job before he took the Jets. I'm kind of wondering when you're going through this process, or you see the same jobs open, are you paying attention to what other coaches are interviewing for it, and how do you kind of navigate that?
The staffing dynamics are natural around the league. You're always, as you're going through these jobs, just, who's available and whatnot. If a certain opportunity presents itself, ton of respect for AG. He's done an awesome job going back to, playing career here in New Orleans for a number of years, going to Detroit. What, him and Dan and all those guys were able to kind of rebuild there was really, really special. And certainly I think he's putting a really good foundation in New York, down for future success there. I think he's going to do a great job. No question. I think that's all we can ask for in these situations.
Just final home game of the season, anything that you want to deliver to fans?
Yeah, we're excited about it. We're excited. It's our last opportunity to be at the Dome. The fans have been awesome this year. I know, when you go through a season where you have some ups and some downs, and for them to kind of stick through all that journey with us and kind of rally, I thought last week was an awesome experience. For that come from behind win, the crowd at the end of the game, I thought there was energy and juice, and we're excited for this one. We got a team coming in a similar situation that's building, and so we're excited to see the Dome one more time.
William Sherman that, when the right tackle, Caesar, how did he kind of carve a role for himself throughout this process?
Had an opportunity to join the practice squad, really steady. Again, you earn these opportunities through what you do each and every day, and so he's prepared himself really well. He's had a couple call-ups through this experience, and so I think he's doing a nice job, and we're excited about his future as well.
Evan Hall, he got drafted a couple years ago. We called him Curtis very first game, one game after that. So he just hasn't had a ton of live game reps. What did you have to see from him to feel comfortable putting him on?
We just saw it in practice really quickly. Everyone's NFL journeys are unique. I thought his preparation was really good, and then he had a couple opportunities there to kind of be active and potentially ready to go. And he's just done a really nice job, and so he's earned this. I think when you go back to his college career, had a really good career, and sometimes the early parts of your NFL career, you have to navigate a few things. Everyone has different paths, but we felt very fortunate in the middle of the season to find a guy like him available, and to be able to add to this team.
Sherman too was another guy that only had one career game before this, but the last years in the league and only having one NFL game. Do you sense the hunger for those guys to get another opportunity? How do you kind of see that with Hall?
I think just all these guys, you bring in high character guys. They're great teammates. They have incredible work ethic. They're prepared. We've asked a number of these guys that when the opportunity presents itself, be ready to go. And we feel like a lot of these guys are taking advantage of these opportunities.
We got all the Hines. Hines.
Yeah. Had a workout. Obviously, feel really fortunate to be able to sign him as well. Got some experience on his side. He's played a lot of football in the NFL. Have always been a fan of his from afar. Excited about him. He came in and worked out, did an excellent job. And so, obviously, with two full-time running backs, he's the third one there. And then, Alvin's kind of navigating the injury status. And so we feel like it provides us with some depth as we go.
Did you not mention Justin Reed's name? Is he full go?
He's good. Yeah, good to go.
And Peyton wasn't on, and Mitchell Peyton wasn't on the injury report.
No, he got a little banged up, so he was limited today.
And what kind of illness is Tipton dealing with? The kind of illness that you think could possibly not
we'll
last?
see. Getting better. I feel good, but he's just got to get through all that.
You guys have a pretty deep running back room in camp, and then the years gone on, and you brought in others, rather than just bring those guys back. I know Tyler was to Kansas City, for instance, but was there something about just the guys who were out there that you wanted to try something new rather than kind of relying on the guys you had in camp previously?
I think it's just the way the schedule and timing works. Obviously, we brought a couple of these guys through the practice squad route, and so obviously those guys have to be truly available, which, there's a number of guys that are on practice squads, other places that we had a great experience with. It didn't work from a 53-man roster perspective, and so we felt like these guys would add certainly a really good role for us. And then obviously there's some roster movement that's occurred the last few weeks that have allowed us to move some of these guys up to 53.
To that point, how impressive have you been with that room having to step up that next man up mentality?
Joel has done an awesome job. Felt so fortunate when we were able to get Joel back here in New Orleans to lead the running back room. They got excellent leadership because of him, and then that group just does an excellent job preparing, and I think they work really well together. There's a bond, there's a connection, there's getting each other better, getting each other prepared that I think has shown up for these guys to be able to contribute in such a positive way in a short window. I think is credit to that group and the way they work.
Joel, just how have you seen him settle into that assistant head coach, or is it associate head coach?
Associate head coach, yeah. Joel's been awesome. Joel's been around this league for a long time in some different roles, and so I've leaned on Joel for a lot of things, and a lot of it, it's just from a leadership standpoint with the team, just bouncing ideas off, having different discussions with the leadership group or Joel. He's just been really good, and I think we feel fortunate that we were able to kind of get him back here.
He has quite the arm too when you guys are playing the crossbar game on Friday.
Yeah. Joel's got a little bit. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is there a, like, what's your guys' like teaching lesson from the 2-point play from last night?
Which one? There's a couple 2-point plays. We that'll be on next week. So that'll be next Friday's team meeting. There certainly will be a bunch of plays from that game. So obviously recovering the football on that 1 2-point play was huge, and something we always talk about. The whistle does not necessarily end the play. Obviously, you got to be careful about what you do. But again, we always want to get on those footballs no matter what side of the ball you're on. It was a very unique one. And then the last one was just a phenomenal play. The quarterback did an awesome job, Sam, working through a progression. So
Curious on the crossbar game that you guys play on Friday. Are you keeping track throughout the season?
Kind of a weekly basis. It wasn't a good day for me, but last week was better, so we'll see.
Just kind of a philosophical thing for the overtime, with the new rules where both teams get the possession. Would you, as a coach, want to have the ball first or second? Because it feels like because now you are guaranteed the ball, it obviously changes it.
League's trending towards taking the second possession just because of it's a limited time frame as well. So a lot of times that second possession ends up close to around that 2-minute warning, and then you kind of play situational football for the rest of the way there.
I saw you guys have an 11.5-minute drive, though. There is no second position.
Exactly. There's a potential there, too.
Does that mentality shift at all home in a way, kind of like how coin toss is, or does that not?
There's certain discussions certainly to be made. I mean, you can look at the way we've handled coin tosses. Sometimes there's value to taking the ball, whether, the opponent, all those sorts of things. There's obviously kind of a common sense starting point, which is usually you're going to defer. I think that's how most people start, and then there's some factors that may flip it one way or the other. All right. Thanks, guys.